Sound effects refers to the effect created by sound, which is means to enhance the realism, atmosphere or dramatic message of the scenes. And music can only be turned into music by combining many sound effects. The sound effects may seem inconspicuous and it may take less than a second, but it can greatly increase or enrich the sense of the presence in the picture or in the drama or in the film. In fact, sound effects can be heard everywhere in real life, but it is a test of the sound designer ability to put the appropriate sound effects in the required drama scenes. Once an inconspicuous sound effect is misplaced in an inappropriate drama scene, it will make the audience perception erupt, and the overall drama effect will be greatly reduced.
Oh God, please, no! No!
So sound effects are an indispensable detail in the overall drama. Once you understand the process behind the design, everyone can be a good sound designer.
Nice.
Imagination is a great help to sound effect creation. It can help you to create a lot of fun things. Imagination is actually very simple. Let us try to use simple imagination to design sound effects. First of all, we have this picture of the forest in front of us, right? Looking at this picture, let's try to imagine what sound you will hear in the forest. Common sounds of birds, wind, insects, animals, and maybe even there will be the sound of the river and so on. So let's try to simply match the sound effects for this scene. First, let's try adding bird sounds. Okay, you can match the scenes according to your own imagination. Now couple with the sound of insects. You can simply use the volume to create a far and near effect. In this way, the effect in the woods is a little bit out lah. You can even add more details to these scenes, such as the sound of walking, other animal sound, and etc. And of course, not all of them are added. This will cause audience very confused and make the listener feel very uncomfortable. So, observe the scenes you match. For example, this forest scene is in the daytime. What if I add the sound of an owl in it? Doesn't it seem like nothing? But it is strange that owls are nocturnal animals, right? And in general, they are unlikely to appear during the time. So adding it in this way would seem very inconsistent with the scenes. So not all sound effects can be matched in the end. How to use sound effects to design or create the atmosphere? The most important thing is to make the audience feel immersive. Once the audience feels erupt, then these sound effects will fail. So next, we try to create atmosphere for the next scenes. Okay, now, if the previous forest scenes can be designed in a simple and directional manner, this will be a bit more difficult. Now the scenes in front of you is a door. What atmosphere do you think this door can bring to you? What sound effects would you like to match? You can think about it in 5 seconds. Okay, time is up. I believe everyone has their own imagination. No matter what you think of is always right. Everything is right. Even if it is not thought of or there's no sound effects, it is all right. No sound effect is actually a kind of sound effect. Most horror films also use this method to create a suspenseful atmosphere. Okay, going back to the door scenes, because there is only a door. Generally, most people will first think that the scenes is in the room. In the room. And the action is knocking on the door. If you want to match the knocking sound, then we can roughly judge the material of the door. The picture may be made of woods, so we can match the sound of knocking on the wooden door. The next step is to create atmosphere. Okay, now we have different demonstration sound effects. Let us listen it. Through this imaginative exercise, after knowing the basic concept of sound effect design, and with the scenes lighting, music, you can let the audience have an immersive experience. Enrich the overall drama rhythm with sound effects. Sound effects are like details, which determine the atmosphere of a drama or film and enrich the whole film. The most obvious example is in the presentation of action plots, such as martial arts or cartoon. Usually in these kinds of more intense or fast-paced plot, the picture is the first priority to attract the audience, followed by music and sound effects. The sound effect is not the most important here, but it is an important aid that gives the audience the strongest sense of experience of participation. Next, please watch the demonstration video, Kings of Fighter, without sound effects. The intense fighting and music are very attractive, but there seems to be something missing in the process of playing and watching. Let us take a look at the picture after adding. Now, after watching it, do you think it is much better? Even if the sound effects of fighting in the real world are not such sounds, at least it will not make the people feel confused. We can also feel the fist to flash effect brought by the sound effect, making the audience feel this is easier for the audience to get involved with things like successfully hit the opponent. It feels painful to hit the other side. Let's talk about the rhythm of sound effects and share my childhood favorite cartoon, Tom and Jerry. This cartoon started my interest in music and sound design. What attracts me to this cartoon is the two characters of cat and mouse, which are very funny and lovable. There's also the use of classical music, symphony orchestra throughout the whole plot, and the sound effects of musical instruments are used to create a rhythm atmosphere. Sound effects with the music, it accurately corresponds to the action of the cartoon's characters and give the overall rhythm, which makes this cartoon very beautiful. Non-realistic sound effects correspond to non-realistic plots, which is to match the sound effects you have never imagined for the things that never happened or fictional in the real world. For example, have you ever heard the sound of magic in the real world? No, right? How do you imagine the sound of magic? As mysterious and powerful as Harry Potter? Or is it dreamy and shiny like Sailor Moon? Can you hear the source of these sound effects? In fact, the inspiration comes from EDM, this type of music. Using EDM, unique electronic sounds, characteristics and bass, and then slightly tuning and modifying, it becomes a new magic sound effect. The above source is to quickly find the source of the sound effect material. I usually look for the sound effects material on YouTube. Other sound effects material websites are also available for free download, but some are still charged. If I don't have the sound effects I want, sometimes I go to record by myself or record the sound effects I want. Most of the mobile phones nowadays have very good recording function, as long as the mobile phone is pointed at the object to be recorded. Okay, this is my personal thoughts on sound effect design. Thank you.